do, my man talk ministry family? It's your boy, Minister LP, and I got Miss Shaundra Rice from Tupelo, Mississippi in the building. Y'all give a round of applause, man. Y'all give a round of applause. We back for another episode. Miss Rice.
How you doing?
Introduce yourself to the Man Talk Ministry family.
Shaundra Rice from Tupelo, Mississippi. Born in, I'm not going to say raised, but I was born there. Raised a little bit of two different places, but I'm back home.
Bet. Miss Rice, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and jump right on in. I'm not going to keep you long, right. About 30, 45 minutes on the show.
I got you.
Go ahead and bring us in with a small, simple prayer, if you don't mind.
All right. Who, you and me?
I'm going to bring us in. And I'm going to get you the prayers out. That's what I'm talking about. All right. You want the prayers in? You want the prayers out? Which one?
You can pray us in.
All right. Father God, we come to you tonight and say thank you. Thank you for another opportunity to get on and give a testimony so that way, Lord, it may help someone. Father God, I thank you for allowing Miss Shaundra Rice to have the courage and being vulnerable enough to come on to talk about her experiences. Father God, I pray that you don't let anything come from my mouth or Miss Rice's mouth that's not of you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Miss Rice!
Amen. How you doing?
You got to get in there, Miss Rice.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Miss Rice, like I said, this is a healing platform from women, men, or children to come on and talk about the things that they've been through and how God brought them through it. And I know you've been through some things, and everything hasn't been peaches and cream for you. I don't think
That's
a lot
correct.
of peaches and cream for none of us. So thank you so much for coming on and allowing me the opportunity to be in your space. I'm honored. So with that being said,
Thank
we can
you.
dive on in and let's start from the beginning on the things you've been through and how God brought you through it and how he's continuing to work on you and what you're doing now. Come on, let's jump in.
All right. Well, from the title, I think some people already know, but I'll still go back. 33 years old, originally from Tupelo, Mississippi. Have 3 beautiful kids. Have a husband. My father moved me away from Tupelo when I was 3. Went to Illinois, spent time there, moved to Georgia. And after his passing, I came back home to be a little bit closer to my family.
Okay, so you're originally from Mississippi, though, right?
I'm originally from Mississippi. Mm-hmm.
But you went to Georgia.
I went to Illinois first, and then I went to Georgia. And so I want to say about 6-7 years in Illinois and about 11 years in Georgia.
And they accepted you back in Mississippi.
They accepted me back. I don't want to be back.
And we're gonna get into that because there's been a few changes and things you went through based upon where when you step outside of Mississippi, you start to see things differently, like the cost or the opportunity to grow and prosper. Because like I said, I'm also from Amory, Mississippi, so
okay,
we'll be able to dive in on how we grew up and where we're from and the things we've seen, and we'll just let it spin off. So talk about your life as an adult by living in Georgia and what brought you back to Mississippi. Can we touch on that?
Yeah, we can touch on that. So me and my father and my stepmom, we moved to Georgia. Like I said, things weren't always peachy creamy, but my dad did his best. I feel like that's my number one, and he always be my number one. We were there for quite some time, and in between that time, we went through sort of hard times where, I was given a choice to stay with him and go to school and finish high school, or my second choice was go to Job Corps and finish up there. So that's sort of what I did, and we talked about it and discussed it and felt like that was just the best thing for me to do because of, the circumstances of, just sort of, he didn't want me to just, bounce around because he already know we sort of had that life growing up. So he wanted more stability for me. And he wanted me also to finish school. So I went there. I was in Job Corps, so 16 years old, being in Job Corps, all women Job Corps Center, downtown Atlanta, where you had freedom. You had open range to do whatever you want. You didn't have any adults, to say, hey, do this, do that. You went to school, you clean your room, and with that open free time, you did whatever you wanted to do. So being in Georgia at 16 years old and being able to pretty much be grown, you see a lot, you hear a lot, you do a lot.
So
And
at the age of 16, you kind of grew up fast because you was in you come from a small town in Mississippi, go to like a faster paced Atlanta. 16
correct.
years old out there roaming the street in the
Trying to make it, I had one best friend that was like a sister. Even though I still have my biological sister that I always got here in Mississippi. But I had one sister friend. I still talk to her to this day. Pretty much she guided me and helped me, for me not to be out there doing, nothing that I shouldn't be doing or getting in no trouble. So she guided me the right way. So I give her all props for that. Just making sure I was taken care of, making sure nobody wasn't taken advantage of, because being out there, being young and not knowing, guys out there seeing us and they know, hey, them Job Corps girls, hey, try to get at it, try to see what y'all can get, because they felt like we was vulnerable, they felt like, hey, give us this, give us that, take us out to eat. At that time, people ain't, at 16, 17, you ain't knowing really, what's going on. You just, hey, you take it as it comes. So being out there, you know, and if anybody know where Job Corps Atlanta is, it's off of Simpson Road. And that's pretty much a major road in Georgia that's pretty much bad. Like anything and everything go down Simpson Road. So it wasn't in the best neighborhood. So, I mean, they tried to keep it best school wise, but the area itself, it wasn't the best. So we saw, I saw, women out there on the street selling. And that's something I ain't never saw growing up. My parents didn't subject us to seeing women out there on the street selling and doing, selling their bodies for this and that. So that was a big challenge for me being there. But it taught me a lot. It taught me, you know, being very independent, because I got out there at 16 and had me a job at UPS.
At 16 years old.
At 16, I was working at UPS stocking the truck. 411, me stocking the truck.
And let's talk about this. People don't, I'm finna touch something. People not gonna like, don't want to touch them. Keep it real, because it's man talk, y'all. When you talk about being 16 years old and that there's men out there, trying to give you things, these could have been older men in their 40s, 38, doughboy.
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring it up, because a few people that I've been around, we've had the conversation, man, and these been women I've had the conversation with, that it happens. But now when the documentary come out about R. Kelly, people seem to freak out. It goes on. Because like I said, I didn't hear anybody saying anything about Hugh Hefner when he had to play Playboy Bunnies,
Correct.
So
and still don't to this day.
Still don't. And I know as a young man growing up in high school, I know some of my classmates, females, they always dated older men.
Correct.
Some of them dated the school teacher. Not to say it's right or I condone it, but it's a real thing out there and it happens, especially in large cities. But with that being said, we're gonna keep moving forward. I had to just touch that because it happens. It's a real thing. We're gonna have to start getting more women on here to talk about it. I had a young lady by the name of Holly Randall, also from Mississippi. She touched on it, on how she was a 15 and 16-year-old girl dating a 40-year-old married man. So it happens. So if any of you young ladies out there, y'all hear this, man, y'all want to come on and talk about some things that you may be uncomfortable with, hey man, y'all get in my inbox. But how did you come through that, Ms. Rice? You said you had a sister that kind of kept you grounded, kept you moving. You got the job at UPS. Talk to us about how your life was then at the age of 16, working in a factory at UPS, probably making about $19, $20 an hour.
No. So that's what you would think. I was at 16, not being, you old enough to work, but not being over 18. So I want to say as a stalker, I want to say I worked, I think at that time, making um probably making like $16 an hour.
$16.
Nothing, yeah, nothing extreme. Just you know, little
But
change in my pocket.
but at that time,
Nothing.
you didn't have any children, right?
Correct. No kids.
Did you have any bills, or was sister paying the bills, or you were just splitting it?
At that time, I mean, I was in Job Corps, so I mean, I stayed on campus.
So at that time, man, $16 could be a lot of money, boy.
It was a lot of money.
$16, woo, and with no bill, no kid, woo.
Correct. It was a lot of money back then because I didn't have to pay for no rent. I didn't have to pay for no food and board, rent. So
Yeah,
all of that was just, that was my money. So being, 16, making 16 something dollars an hour, hey, I thought I was rich.
hood rich. What they say, hood rich.
I thought I was hood rich. I had, see, back then, we shopped the City Thrift. Not City Thrift, but City Trend. So I had all the dresses from City Trend, all the shirts. So I was City Trend up.
That's what's up. So we hood rich. We 16.
Oh, yeah.
We getting the checks from UPS, and we started to mature. We started to grow. We'll eventually come out of the Job Corps.
We
Right?
did.
Talk to me about that. What started happening in your life coming out of Job Corps? You working? Uh, Talk to us. We finna dig. We're gonna man.
So after leaving Job Corps, I end up, let me see, what did I do? I left Job Corps and I end up going with one of the young ladies from Job Corps that was from Mississippi. Me and her got a little apartment together.
Mm-hmm.
So we got an apartment together. She helped me get a job and just trying to make it and be grown and didn't know what grown was.
Gotcha.
I didn't know what grown was at all. I just knew I was out here. I could do what I want. I ain't had no parents behind me telling me what I can and what I can't do. So at that moment, I'm out here, I'm working, and me and her fall out. She put me out. Now, at that time, I could have called my daddy and said, Daddy, I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm out here. I need to come back home.
Yeah.
I ain't do it because I was like, I was hard headed because I ain't stay in Job Corps. I had left.
Yeah.
So I decided that I ended up meeting a guy. Me and him kicked it off. He helped me get a little spot, and we was together for a little bit or whatever. But I knew in my heart it wasn't right. The reason why I said I knew it wasn't right because he was controlling, and I'm like, been there, done that. I know what controlling lead to.
Mm-hmm.
So he never put hands on me. I never had to go through anything like that. But I knew in my heart it wasn't right.
Yeah.
So I ended up meeting another friend, lady friend. Me and her, she helped me find a job. I ended up staying with her. So now I done went from being with this guy, we over. Now I'm staying with this young lady. Now she helped me get on my feet. All good stuff. We became real cool. Still talk to this day. At that time, then I started working at Wally World. By this time, I'm 18.
Okay.
So I'm working at Walmart, and one particular morning, I always talk to my mom when I go to work. Mm-hmm. So at that time, in Georgia, you don't have to have no car. Bus, transportation, Marta was our best friend.
Yeah.
So at that time, I always talk to my mom every day on my way to work. I would talk to her on the way to work, and I would talk to her on my way home, so she knew that I made it home and I got to work. Mm-hmm. So this particular, I want to say it was a particular Sunday, something came over my body where it was just like, don't go to work. And I never miss work. I was the type of person that at that time, I was making bank at Walmart, bringing $1,500, $1,600 because I didn't have no kids. I could just work all day long. Mm-hmm. That particular Sunday, I didn't go to work. So something just came over my body. And the night before, I had a dream. I didn't know who was in the dream, but I remember seeing an angel with some wings in my dream. So later on that afternoon, my brother called. and he was crying, and I'm like, what you crying for? What's wrong? What's going on? He was like, Mama. And I said, what about Mama? I just talked to Mama yesterday. What's going on? He said, she gone. I said, she gone where? She passed away. I said, no. So at that moment, I hung up the phone. And as I'm grasping that, he just called me and said, my mama has passed. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, what am I going to do? You know, my mom was my heart, regardless of, going through hard times with her being, out out there in the streets doing what she wasn't supposed to be doing, but she still was a great mom.
Yeah.
She did finally get herself, to a place where she was okay, she was comfortable. And so I got off the phone, I dropped the phone, and I remember in my head just kept hearing him say, she gone, she gone, she gone. So at that moment, I think I dropped and I just fell. And the lady that I stayed with, she came and she said, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I tell her, and I'm boohoo crying, and just, I felt like at this moment, I done lost my mom. And my only thing was, I wish I always said, I wish I had more time.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I felt like I lost a piece of me after she passed. Even though I still had my father, I still had my brother, I had my sister, I had my other brother, so I still had my family. But it was something about my mom that was just like, I didn't know what to do. So came back home to Mississippi, went to her funeral, went back to Georgia, kept working, kept, living. At that time, I had my own place. And I decided a little bit after that, I'm going to move to New York. I didn't know nobody in New York. I knew one person. Let me take it back. I knew one person. I said, I'm going to move to New York. At this time, I was still 18, going on 19. New York. I moved to Albany, New York with a gentleman.
Older gentleman, correct?
Yeah, he was a little bit older than me. He was. He wasn't 50, but he was, I want to say he was like 5-6 years older than me, but at that time,
he was
older than me. Yes.
25 and you 18. Okay.
Correct. So, staying with him, and, he was real cool, got there, nice, whatever, I say. And we got into it one day, and he put me out. So now I'm upstate, Albany, New York.
What?
Nowhere to go. I was working. Regardless of where I go, I'm gonna work. At that time, I had 2 jobs. I worked at the mall, and I worked at Ross. And I had a coworker, older lady, be my mom's age. I lived with her. I went and stayed with her. Got myself together, and at that time, I ended up. I met a gentleman at work. Me and him started kicking it, talking, and all that good stuff. Thinking, oh, okay, I'm staying with her. I'm paying bills. Everything okay? Maybe I'm gonna be back. Get on track. Then all of a sudden,
this after your brother put you out, you moved in with a woman. You was working. You met another gentleman.
Yep.
You didn't give yourself time to heal, but we're gonna touch on that. Keep it moving.
I did not, because at this moment I was out here looking for something and seeking for something that I needed. I felt like I needed.
Yeah.
I was seeking for. When I think about it now, I believe I was seeking for my father.
Yeah.
I was seeking for my dad. But instead of me just being a big girl and saying, Daddy, look, I just need some help. I messed up.
Yeah.
I messed up. I just kept going to the next and going to the next. And at that moment, I got sick. Didn't know why I got sick. And all of a sudden, found out I was pregnant.
Baby.
So now, baby on the way. So I'm pregnant. So the first thing that come to my mind, I got to move back to Georgia. Can't stay in New York. Ain't got no family up here. Got to go.
Eat your life up in New York.
Indeed. So before I left, I told my baby father, Hey, this ain't it. I gotta go. I gotta go back to my family because I need help, and I don't have it here. So I got back on the bus 12.5 hours from New York to Georgia.
Mm.
On the bus, sick, throwing up, trying not to let everybody hear me throwing up because I'm sick.
Yeah.
Get back to Georgia, and I got real bad sick. Now I knew I was pregnant, but I didn't know why I kept being so sick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go to the doctor, and they said, "Well, we know why you sick." And I said, "Why I'm sick?" Well, you pregnant with twins, so
Ooh.
it's taking a lot.
Mm.
So now I done went from probably weighing, I forgot what I weighed. When I found out I was pregnant, I think it just took everything out of me. So I was looking skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So now found out I'm pregnant with twins. My I told my dad, and I'm like, I think I just need to come back to Mississippi. So
Mm-hmm.
I end up moving back to Mississippi, and I lived with my sister for a while, and pretty much she guided me and helped me while raising them as the newborns, because after they arrived, I went through postpartum depression very bad,
Mm.
where it was just a rough time in my life.
And,
So at that time, I needed my family.
and I don't mean to stop you, but for some young lady out there, I don't know who you are. But this young lady listening, she don't know what that is, and she's dealing with something like that now. What is postpartum? And talk about the things that you felt, because postpartum is real.
Right. So, and I have had it with all my children.
Mm-hmm.
So each one was different. But with the boys, my postpartum more was, besides the lack of sleep, I felt like what I was doing when nothing helping. Like they would cry and I didn't know what to do. I'm crying with them. Um, and at that moment, you got twins. So when one up, one down, one down, one up. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a constant. And let alone I'm staying with my sister. I don't have a job. She's supporting me. My family supporting me. So I don't have no free life. I didn't have no outside. Like I could have went outside, walked around the block, but I didn't have a life. So
Yes.
being in the house, and I wasn't stuck in the house. I wasn't made to be in the house. But at that time, I didn't have a car. I didn't really have too much here in Mississippi. So my postpartum was very stress depressing. Um, where I just felt like at times where I'm like, is my life worth it? Is it a reason why I'm still here? Like my mom gone, should I be with my mom?
Mm-hmm.
And my sister always kept saying, because she saw me crying and saw me depressed, and she always say, "You got them babies. I don't care what you got. You got them babies. If you ain't got no man, you ain't got this, you ain't got that. You got God and them babies in me." And I'm like, and it took me a while to grasp it. People always say, "Girl, you got them babies. That's all you need is them babies." And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, "Girl, y'all can come take these babies because I'm tired."
Yeah. They don't know what you're dealing with.
No, no. Postpartum is very strong, and any woman, mom, you don't have to be biological to mom. You can just whatever comes in. We all go through. We all go through a phase where we just don't know what to do at times.
Yeah.
You can read books. Your friends can tell you. Your mama can tell you. But it's a time you just don't know what to do. And I always say it's always good to have a friend to communicate with and not hold things balled up, because that was one of my issues growing up. I was the type of person that I kept everything balled up. So when I got to a point where it blew up, I snapped. So I didn't have a go through 1 through 20. I went from 0 to 1,000.
Ooh. Because you never released and told nobody. You just held all that in.
I always held it in.
Mm.
I
Mm.
always held it in.
I've been there. I've been there,
Yep.
man. I've been there. I've been there. That's what I can honestly say that I've dealt with. Not, you know, just holding stuff in.
Hmm.
Holding stuff in. And when you hold that stuff in, man, you're gonna explode. You're gonna explode. And that's why you need an outlet. Like, man, man, you have to find somebody to talk to. You'll drive
Correct.
yourself crazy. And if you're not, if you're if let's say you surrounded by, at that time you had a boyfriend.
Yep.
If boyfriend is not a communicator, or he's not a place where you can dump off in. When I say dump off in, it means just let it go
Yep.
and vent. That's a problem.
It is.
Problem, because you would explode, man. I've been there. I know what that feels like, and it's not that you crazy. It's just you holding it in.
Yeah, because I always felt like I didn't have a outlet. I just felt like, who am I tell? Who am I talk to? Who not gonna judge me? Because at times you tell the wrong people, they judge you. So who can you talk to sometimes? Because sometimes you can't even talk to family.
Man, what you said? What you
So
what you said?
when you get to a place where sometimes you can't talk to family, it's like, who do you talk to?
Yeah, and then you be want to be careful, because the people you talk to, it's got to be a people that's going to actually help and try to mend things and make everything better.
Right. Well, they have to be non-judgmental. They have to have an open mind.
Open mind, and if not, they'll end up causing more harm than anything.
Correct.
Because once you start to lean one way, it's over.
That's correct.
Can't be like that. You have to be right down the middle and have an understanding on what's really going on. Because at the end of the day, it's all emotional feelings. And people are not you. You're gonna have your own reaction, your own emotions, and they are not you. They may not understand it. They're not you.
Right.
And I've dealt with something like that, because people try to make you deal with something that that's affecting you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you tell somebody what's affecting you, they'll tell you, "Oh man, just man, let just you pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
Pray about it."
Yeah.
Sometimes, man, you be in a space where you can't even pray about things, because you need somebody at that point, man. You need to see something, You need to see that
Correct.
friend, and that friend need to bring you back right. So I've been there. That is still a work in progress in me. That
Me too.
I need to start releasing things I hold in.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it explodes, it explodes. It goes, man. It goes. So I'm gonna work on that in 2022. Y'all pray for me.
Hey,
Yee!
me too.
But,
Me too.
but go into after that, you postpartum, and you really just want to say the hell with the kids. You're going off. You don't have your significant other to talk to. How did you make it through that? How? What happened? And keep going on.
Okay.
Who you end
So
up meeting? Come on.
let's. So we fast forwarding. So now my twins are now. I want to say I think they were close to one. So I decided that I called my dad. I'm like, hey, daddy, look, Mississippi ain't nothing here. You know, I want a different scenery. I need something else. I need to start being more independent. So he said, okay, cool. So at this time, I remember like it was yesterday. It was the first of the year. He comes and get me. It was 2007. He comes and get me from Mississippi. He rented a SUV. Came, packed all the baby stuff up, packed my stuff up. We moved to Georgia.
Mm,
So now we in Georgia and things are starting to look up. Um, and when you said like the difference between Mississippi and Georgia, um, here in Mississippi where it's hard for women if we're struggling to get assistance and get any kind of movement, any kind of anything without, oh, it's a waiting list, 2.5 years, do this, fill this out, go here, go there. You don't have all the resources here in Mississippi that you have in Georgia. So in Georgia, when I get there, let alone this is the first of the year, I'm going to say as soon as I got there, that week after New Year's, that Monday, I'm back in Georgia. My dad said, I said, take me over here. Let me see if I can get some assistance. I had childcare, food stamps, and Medicaid and child support all in 1 week.
all in 1 week.
1 week
In Georgia.
in Georgia. So I'm like, okay, they allow me to make sure I have food to feed the kids so my dad ain't got to go broke. So now I'm like, okay, looking up. So now we got food coming in. I'm like, okay, good. We got Medicaid straight.
Yeah.
So then they said, well, we'll give you child care if you go look for a job. Bet.
What?
I get out there, I'm finding me a job. So now my dad didn't help me. He got me a car. And now I'm thinking, looking up, I'm like, okay, I save my little bread. I get me a little place and I move out my daddy house.
Uh-huh.
Something happened in between the time me saying I'm going to get my own spot and I'm going to move out.
Mm-hmm.
My dad gets sick.
Mm.
And I knew it was something wrong, but I didn't know what was wrong. So we went to the doctors months and months and months. And he was doing CAT scans, this, that, and so on. And they found cancer and they found tumors and they found everything that you pretty much can find. So now later on, I lost my mom. So now we on my father.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I say October of 2007, or it might have been 8. Okay. It was 7. Um, he came home and I'm like, dude, we just gonna go to the doctor. I'm gonna have them check you out from toe to head.
Yeah.
And they go, when they come back and they say, well, this is what it is. He got cancer. He got tumors. He had a lot going on. And we did chemo. We did everything that they could have done in Georgia. We had him at the best hospital in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't enough because it was too late. So I had to get on the phone and make a phone call to my family, my sister, my brothers, my aunts, and say, hey, Daddy not doing good, and I need y'all to come over here because I don't know if he's going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So they come, they rush, nothing. They was there. We there in the hospital, and we talking to my aunt and everybody. We having a discussion, and we just felt like at that moment it was best for him to be back here in Mississippi because it's just me in Georgia with the boys. So I'm running back and forth to chemo. I'm running back and forth to the hospital, making sure he's straight. And at this moment, and I don't know if anybody has went through a parent or a real close family member that has cancer or any kind of disease, they have good days and bad days. So my
Mm-hmm.
dad had more bad days at that moment than good. So it was times where I got cussed out and said, I love y'all in the same day.
Gotcha.
So
He hurt me.
he was hurting so bad and it was nothing that I can do.
Yeah.
I couldn't give him a pill and say, Daddy, just take this and it'll numb you up. It was nothing that can help because it was so gone. So he moved back here. We got him back here in October. So from October, November, I come see him in Thanksgiving that year. And I'm like, Daddy, he was in the hospital. I said, Daddy, I'll be back for your birthday. His birthday was December the 14th. He would have been 50. I said, well, I'll be back for your birthday now. Me and the boys. I'm make sure the boys with me because he was in the hospital and on the floor that he was at, they wasn't allowed on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we're going to be back and you're going to be at the house and you're going to see them boys. Fast forward, I go back home after Thanksgiving and I get a call. Daddy passed. He passed on December the 12th and his birthday was December the 14th. So now I'm at a loss because now I feel like I'm out here alone. I got these kids. I did have a good, well, at that time he was my boyfriend, but at one point in time he did become my husband.
Okay. So
I just feel like I did get married.
Okay.
I did get married to him, and we was living pretty good. We was good. We had good days and bad days, but I felt like at that moment I lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people, treasure your parents while you have them because when they're gone, they're gone. Can't bring them back. So now fast forward, I moved back here. I'm married. Me and my husband at that moment, we're doing good. We fairly doing good. But he ended up getting in a little legal trouble. So he ended up going away down the road.
Your husband.
So my husband. So he go down the road. Now I'm a single mama. I got 3 kids at this moment now because I had a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm out here in Mississippi trying to make it. I got my sister watching the kids while I go to work. My grandma watching the kids while I go to work. I paid people to watch my kids because I just tried to keep as much going by myself.
And at this point,
And
you're realizing when you were 16 and working at UPS with no kids. Fast forward, you have 3 kids now. Mama gone, daddy gone, husband locked up, walls caving in.
walls caving.
Come on.
So now I'm not gonna say I was out looking for anything because at that time my main thing was making sure my kids were straight.
Mm-hmm.
That was my main goal, making sure they straight, making sure we went on the streets. But let alone we in Mississippi, and Mississippi really, and I hate to say it, they don't care about when you're working and you have kids. They don't care. They don't care if your child gets sick. They just want you there. So it was hard for me to find a good paying job that was decent for me to make it. Because I didn't want to be on Section 8, and I didn't want, and nothing wrong with it because at the time I was on it.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I was trying to keep as much normal as possible. So I end up bouncing from me getting a place by myself. Now, let alone, these are still my places. I'm by myself with the kids. Mm-hmm. So I went from apartment to an apartment to another apartment to a trailer to an apartment. And it was just like, when you say you feel like you start, like, I felt like I started over 5 times every year. Mm. It was like, it was never a going up moment like this. It never was going up. It was like I would go like this, and then it was shoom, and I go like this, and it was like shoom, and it was like I'm sitting there, and I start going to church. I start going to World Changes.
World Changes.
I started going to World Changes, and I started getting real good with the pastor and the first lady and people of the church, and they were sort of just helping me, guide me, and things start opening up. Yeah. Things start opening up, and at that moment, I felt like I think I see a light. It's a light at this tunnel, because I felt like as I kept going through this tunnel, it just got darker and darker and darker.
Ooh, girl, don't you do that to me? I don't give me a shout. Because I'm telling you, well, when you see that light at that tunnel, you know it's God, man. Ooh.
Yep.
God. So, oh, come on. Let's keep getting in. This is good.
So,
this is good.
I'll fast forward. So now I'm grown. My kids are older. Now my husband, at that time, he comes out. We living. We okay, I say. Yeah. And then we decided that this marriage is no longer going to work. Ah. So now we divorced.
Okay.
Now, this is when, I'm not going to say my crazy side, but I'm going to say my side where I'm just like, I ain't want no mess. So now we divorced.
Wait. I'm not letting you go that easy, because somebody out there been crazy. It's okay. What crazy? We're not finna hide this, because there's some out there and some men that have crazy moments.
So I had a crazy moment. I'm gonna say that because I'm definitely not that person no more. I definitely can say that. But at that time of the divorce, me and him going through it, and we end up bumping heads real bad. And we bumped heads to a place where it put me in Lee County.
Ooh, Lee
County.
In jail. Mississippi. She in jail. What did you do, Miss Wright? I don't mean to put you on play. I know you watch.
I did enough to end up in there. I'll say that.
For the people that's watching, she's not crazy. That's me, having fun, cutting up. But we all have had those moments. If you sitting on here being nosy and act like you haven't had that moment, you lying to yourself. Her having a moment, it ended her up in jail. For the people who is shocked that she went to jail, hey, your husband been to jail, your child been to jail, you went to jail if it wasn't nothing but for some tickets. So don't think on man talk. We are in the healing business, and we pray that we helping somebody. You had a moment. You went to jail.
I did. So me being locked up in those walls, I had to realize, and the only thing I had was a roommate and a Bible. And paper and pencil. So I want to say from May June, July, August, September. I want to say I think my grandmother came and got me out around November-ish.
So you 7 months
So
in.
7 months in,
Oh,
she comes and gets me. Now, let alone at this moment, my sister has my children, taking care of them, and the one that put me there, he was helping also.
so the one put
So
you in jail.
the one that put me there, or the one that got me in there. Let me not say put me in there because I put myself in there.
There you go.
But
I crazy
the
moment.
one that got me to that place, he helped.
See, the man you was in love with, and you snapped and had a snap moment. For the women out there, they they watch snap. You had a snap moment. Went crazy, scared the poor man. He didn't lock you up. But when you come out after rehabbing yourself, he decided to step in and help you. He still loves
He
you.
did.
Still
Yep,
love
he did.
you. Okay.
So
I'm with you
I'm
now.
out. So I'm out and I'm starting over. I have no place. I have no car. I have no money. I have nothing. Only thing I have is the drawers that I had on my booty
Mm.
and my clothes that was in storage that my sister
And they
paid my storage bill for me to allow to still have my stuff while I was locked up.
and they 7 months
So
us on.
7 months, yes. So at that moment, I said to myself, I give myself 30 days. I told my grandma, I said, Grandma, I'm gonna give myself 30 days. She said, what you give yourself 30 days? I said, I'm giving myself 30 days. I gotta get something done in 30 days. In 30 days, at that moment, and just so happened my Section 8 pop up. So now I'm like, okay, I can get me a place.
So I'm
So now,
gonna stop you for 1 minute. And people hate when I do this, but I stop. When you was locked up, you only had a roommate, a cellie,
mm-hmm,
pen and piece of paper.
that's it.
Did you ever open the Bible up?
Every day.
Boy, it's amazing how we get incarcerated and we find Jesus.
I swear, because everybody in there thought they knew Jesus.
But your grandmother, she's always went to church, right?
Always instilled it in us.
You got
Every
out,
Sunday.
moved in with Granny.
Yep.
Said, what you waiting 30 days for? Your Section 8 hit.
So at
Baby,
that moment,
I think at that moment, you should have been falling back on your knees because at that moment, you had a praying grandmother.
I did. But I had some kids that couldn't stay there.
You let the kids stay there.
She did, but grandma's house was just a little small, so it was too tight for us.
Too tight.
But
But the
it was too
front got
tight.
like to get some bill. Come on with it. Don't
Yeah. So at that moment, I'm like, okay, Section 8 come in, I get me a little spot, and I didn't need no big, just something just for me and the kids. So at that moment, my uncle and my grandmother, they helped me get a car. They helped me get my car back that I had. So I have my car back.
Uh-huh.
I got an apartment.
Yeah.
And I had a job within 30 days.
Good God.
So when I say that I came out and I had nothing, and within 30 days I had something, I started from zero, no money, no nothing.
Started from
And
I'm here.
and at that moment I knew that I didn't need no man, no distractions. Only thing I knew is that I needed to live for me and my children. And that's why I say, as women, it's okay to start over. It doesn't matter if we have to start over 10,000 times. It's okay because every time you start over, you learn something from the previous moment, the previous time. So you always take what you have learned and what you did previously, and then you apply it to where you're going. So you know that at this moment, I had a snap moment, but I know that in my head, can't put my kids through that again, can't put myself through that again, definitely can't put my family through that again. So what do I need to do to not get there? Where do I need to be to not get in that spot again?
And we about to talk about it because after you had your snap moment, went to jail, you come out, God was good to you.
He was, and still is to this day.
Now you's an entrepreneur. You making all the hoodies over there in the hood.
I am.
You got your husband. You got your in-law.
I do.
Kids calling.
Wonderful in-laws.
Wonderful in-law. Kids calling. Mama, where you at? What you doing? Where you at? We need food on the table. Talk
Yep.
about now, and everything ain't peaches and cream, but you're working on it. Talk about your goals and where you at now. You're happily married now. You've been married for what, 4 years?
Yep.
Okay, and
So
you recently just had I think you said your daughter had an incident where
yeah, my daughter was in a 4-wheeler accident where she ended up breaking pretty much everything on the right hand side.
yeah,
And um I ended up pointing out with my job,
yeah,
but I knew that, sometimes you know, jobs are jobs. So in my head, I'm like, hey, I gotta make some, I gotta do some, I
yeah,
gotta make $1.
yeah,
So I knew myself. I wanted to do hoodies, I wanted to do shirts, I wanted to do hats, whatever I can get my hands on. That's what I wanted to do.
yeah.
So I sat down and I made a game plan. I saved some money up prior, and I came up with my sort of little clothing, hoodies, shirts, and all that BS designs where anything you want, I could put on a hoodie for you.
And she
So,
shipped, y'all. She shipped. She shipped.
and I should.
I bought one of the hoodies. I must admit, I bought one of the hoodies. It feels good. And like I said, I support all black owned business, man. But your service got to be right. You got to do me right, and I'll do you right. I bless you. But this young lady here made me a Green Bay Packer hoodie. So for all you Green Bay Packer fans, we got us somebody right here, man. She make us all the Green Bay Packer wear. For you haters, get off my page. Brandon,
And I will ship it to you.
I'm shipping to Brandon Gillett, my homeboy, man. He's a Dallas fan. He want to come on Man Talk. We're going to have my partner on Man Talk, man. I'm going to reach out to him. We're going to have my boy on Man Talk. But yeah, man, we also gonna get his brother, Daytron, man. That's my homie, man. Them brothers, that's some good brothers, man. But yeah, if y'all looking for some hoodies, t-shirts, coffee mugs, hats, whatever, get at my girl, Shaundra Rice. I'll plug you in. Man, hey, if you want to start a business and you're looking for a supplier, get at me, man. I got your blanks, your hoodies, your hats, your shirts.
And he got it.
I got a
He
robe,
got it.
shoes, I got sheets, I got towels, I got commissary for the jails, I got soaps, man. Whatever you want, I'm the warehouse. Man,
He's the
talk,
distribution.
man. Y'all get at me. But yeah, man, she's an entrepreneur and she's doing her thing. So yeah, I love my Packers hoodie. Just keep them coming. I love it. Keep
I
them coming.
got you.
But yeah, so now, where do you see yourself now? I know you're married, you have your kids, you're selling hoodies. Talk to me just for about 5 minutes before we get off about how did you see God working your life, where you're intending on going now, and how you're gonna get there. But I'm gonna personally stay in contact with you to just keep just a place to vent and talk to around you, because you need somebody. And
Hmm.
other women, man, I have some phenomenal resources, man. Shout out to my homegirl, Shanice Glees, man. Hey, man, I keep telling you, I got the coldest team in the game. Coldest team in the game. So, man, I'm just happy to have her and her son, on the team. Uh, uh, because for the people who don't know, for them to go ahead and announce it, man. Man Talk Ministries has turned into a full non-profit organization. Man Talk Ministries, and I'm only 7 months in the game. A lot of people see me come on and see that they think I've been doing this for years, or some people try to come on and do what I'm doing. Uh, hey man, this hard work, dedication, consistency, and believing what you stand in the vision God gave to me. You can jump out there and be successful, but if it's not God driven, man, it ain't gonna last. Uh, but yeah, man, it's only one you. Be your authentic self, and keep being consistent with it. Keep pushing, keep striving. Don't be afraid to come on, even when you're broken or you're hurting, or talk about it. Keep it real. Don't hide from it. Be yourself. This is healing for me. This is why I love doing it, man. Man Talk means we're here. We're gonna touch 50 states. We're making connections. We're grinding. We're giving back to the communities. We're touching lives. We're blessing kids. Uh, we're partnering up with community parks. We're partnering up with different organizations. We're here, y'all. And I just thank God for all the people who have stood in the gaps with me, uh, ups and downs and disappointments, and just man, just I love them. Has had my back through it all, and continue to rock with me. So yeah, let's get to it. So talk to me before we go, man. That's why I'm getting emotional. See, because I know where I come from.
Hmm.
Talk to me about some of your goals, down your plans, moving forward with you, with your business. But I got you.
I
I'm
got
gonna,
you.
I'm gonna bless. I'm gonna bless your business. Tell me what you need.
You have blessed it.
Yeah, right now,
You
right.
have blessed it.
Whatever you need, man. I'm gonna send a couple of boxes. You need some hats, need some hoodies. Tell me what you need. It's on me. It's on Man Talk Minutes. I'm hey live right now. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna bless your business.
Hey, y'all hear him. So if I
Uh,
get back on here and be like,
yeah,
mm-mm.
yeah. God know what I'm gonna do. But if you need to put it on the book, put it on the book. But I'm gonna bless whatever you need. If you need a few hoodies, a few hats, whatever, socks, whatever, go ahead and we go ahead and put the order in. And I get it over to you. I got
I
you,
got you. Appreciate it.
man.
So
Talk man.
pretty much all I'm doing now is just trying to be the best that I can be for myself and my kids and husband. When it comes to my business, I just want to be more successful. I want to learn more about my craft because it's so much out there and it's a wide variety of it. And, us as folks, sometimes we feel like, we can't help others because you feel like you don't want to take away from someone else. But when I say there's so much out here that can be made and so much things out here that you can do, that sometimes if we just come together and put our brains together, it's so much more that we can accomplish. Sometimes it takes two and three folks to get where you're trying to get to. So my main goal is, for me personally, is to just be better than what I was last year, get a few more customers, grow my business, and just enjoy life.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give you some more advice though. I'm gonna give you some advice. And there's not no right or wrong answer. Please do not think I'm trying to throw you up under the bus. All right, don't do me like that. That ain't what we do. Do you have a church home where you live at now?
I do.
You have a
Due
church,
to COVID, we service is
right?
sort of iffy because it's in the country.
Country. I know how that
It's
is.
country. Yeah,
Your husband go to church with you, right?
he does. I actually joined his church.
But I'm gonna get a husband. Shout out to the husband. I don't know where you are, man. I don't know if you're at work, but I noticed the husband had seen me go live the other night. Cause I'm a Packer fan, and your husband saw me go live, and he said, there you go, he's a Packer fan."
There you go.
Anybody that know me, man, even though I have a ministry, uh, hey, when it comes down to football, I'm a Packer fan. Hey, I get in my mode, man. Hey, y'all pray for me, but hey, that's what it is. It's Green Bay, God and nothing. You know what I'm saying?
All day long.
But I want y'all to start praying more in your homes.
Hmm.
Praying more in your homes because the church is already in you. We say church, and a lot of people think that they just have to go to church, and that's when God gonna work miracles. Then we say, man, they was in church shouting for God, and then Sunday night they at the skating rink or at the club. They acting a fool.
Right.
The church is already in you. Keep prayer in your life. Pray every day. Pray all day. Build a relationship with God. Let you build your personal relationship with God. Let your husband build his personal relationship. Allow your husband to lead the house. But prayer has to be in the home. Um, but when you have a relationship with God, that's how you talk to God. Is how you talk to Him.
Hmm.
When you hear Him speak to you, it's gonna be for you. It's not gonna be for everybody else.
Correct.
Just like God talked to pastors and ministers and first ladies and bishops and elders, He talks to you as well. But it's about the relationship, and don't let anybody manipulate you or deter you from that. You know when
Hmm.
God's speaking to you because the relationship is going to be there. But put prayer in your life. Prayer changes things.
It
Uh,
does.
allow your husband to lead. Keep prayer. You pray. cover your husband, let your husband cover you. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You keep grinding. I'm gonna make sure you get the hoodies and the shirts. But yeah, I got you. Shout out to the husband, man. Go Pack, go, baby. We still here.
All day long.
So with that being said, Miss Rice, I'm gonna let your prayers out. Cause I know you got to go get them babies ready. We almost had an hour, so I'm gonna let you get
Exactly.
your prayers out. And until next,
All right.
go ahead. You ready?
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. We come to you thanking you for allowing me to get on this platform and share my story. Um, I know this is a no judgment zone, so please, if you see me, don't look at me crazy. But I just want to say thank you for allowing me to share my story with you all. Thanks for allowing y'all ears to be open to what I had to say. For anyone out there that is going through anything, feel free to always speak up, speak to someone. You can find me on Facebook. I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Larry's there. You can call him, talk to him. But I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come on and share my life and share a little bit of me. And that's all I gotta say, y'all. Amen.
Amen. Y'all hear it right here, man. Call me up. I'm not your typical minister, man. I'm here for you. I'm gonna meet you wherever level you at. The things I don't know, I can pass y'all to somebody, man. You talking to a young guy that when he first released Man Talk Ministries, I called it the birth back in June 18, 2021. Bro, I didn't know how to read the Bible, you know how to study the Bible, bro. I had to reach out, get the help. This is how I minister. This is healing for me. I thank God for the people that's coming on. God has blessed Man Talk Ministry to be a full nonprofit organization. I have one of the coldest teams in the game. I'm well supported by other leaders in the communities around here in the city of Nashville. Shout out to, man, Friendship, my church, man. Shout out to Friendship. Shout out to my church home, STBF. But yeah, man, nothing but God, bro. Nothing but God.
Amen.
But until next week, y'all, I thank God for you. I love you. And you already know what the slogan is. We're here. Thank you so much, Miss Rice.
You're welcome.